All right, cool. We're going to go ahead and jump in. I'm going to let everybody just sort of join in as they get time. And we're excited today to jump in and share with you guys some advice, some strategy. Hopefully that'll be helpful for your 2025. I see we've got someone joining from Maryland. Yeah, if you're just jumping in, go into the comments, let us know where you're joining from. Love to hear where everybody's tuning in from. If you can, if you're in a good place where you can turn your camera on, that would be awesome. So we can see your camera, so we can see your faces. It's good just to kind of connect in this virtual environment that way. We are live on all the different platforms, it looks like. So if you have a second, if you want to jump onto this recording, if you're watching on YouTube, on YouTube or Facebook, click on the little registration link. You'll get the Zoom link and you can jump in and join with us live here today. So we are going to be talking today, adding some value, hopefully showing you guys how to generate, launch your community and generate at least $10,000 in the next 30 days. That's my promise to you. I'm going to try to stick to that. That's what we're trying to do today, is just give you guys a ton of value, a ton of strategy on how you can launch your community and then eventually scale it and make $10,000 within 30 days. We've done this multiple times. My wife and I have done this together, launching brand new communities with no audience, no following, and just launching from scratch and getting it out there. So we're going to dive into it. If it's helpful to you today, use the chat. We're going to take some questions here. If you've got questions on about this, drop them in the comments. I'll try to keep an eye on it. Macy is on our team. She's going to try and keep track of the questions. We will take some questions at the end and even do a little bit of hot seats. And what that means is we'll pull up your specific ideas, your specific community that you're thinking of launching, and we'll spend 5 to 10 minutes, and I'll just try and share as much strategy as I can on your specific group, okay? So if that sounds good, let me know in the chat, and I'm gonna jump right into it. So if you guys are watching this, you are part of what we call our Tribe Creators Group. So we have a community that is on our platform, Tribe Social. This is a free community for you to join. You can head over to app.tribesocial.io. And once you're in here, you can jump into the creators community, which is right here. And you'll see that this training is here featured on the top. And then you'll see a whole community where you can go in and like and comment and leave posts down here, ask questions. We've got about 600 members that are signed up into this group. We'll also have all the replays. That's like the first question we get regardless is like, is there going to be a replay? There is going to be a replay. It's going to be here at the top, and you can even go back and watch other trainings we have done in the last month or two here. And so this is just our tool. It's our free resource to you. We'll have other trainings and things happening in here. So if you made it to this one and it's helpful, like join this, you'll be added to the email list, and you'll get notified when we do this again in the future. So if you haven't as well, you can go to Tribe Social app on the App Store or on the Google Play Store, download it, and that way you'll get notified and things when we have more content for you. So if this is for you, if you are a business owner and you're wanting to add additional consistent revenue, or maybe you're a coach that you're already doing one-to-one clients and you're wanting to scale to many. The other group, it could be if you're an author or speaker. We have a lot of people who like writing a book or in the process of writing a book, or maybe you're doing speaking or you're a pastor or you've just got a lot of content you want to share. This is going to be for you as well. We firmly believe that every single person has unique breakthrough that they can share with the world, that the world needs to hear. And so if you have had any kind of breakthrough in your life, there's something that you have to share, and you can help lead others to that same place of breakthrough. And so our team is on a mission in 2025 to help this group, our pioneers, to create $1 million of revenue together. And so every feature, everything we're adding to our software, to our trainings, we're just going to try to equip you as much as we can to help generate some funds in 2025. Hopefully that sounds good to you. we're talking a lot about money here because money is one of those things that helps make this sustainable for you. If you're a creator and maybe you've been doing YouTube and you're posting or you're doing social media and maybe you're getting some influence, you're building up some of the numbers and building some influence. But at the end of the day, if you're going to go full time into this and really sow yourself into this concept and really give yourself to this community, it has to be sustainable. It has to be a way where you can replace your 9 to 5 job with an online community. Cool. So let me jump in. I'm going to get through a lot of stuff today, and I'll just quickly, it covers as well. This is not just me doing a monologue. I want it to be interactive. Drop comments if you have them. This is not a passive income or get rich quick scheme. We're actually giving you valuable information on as far as how to go put in the actual work. There's no such thing as like a shortcut, really. We're going to show you the steps you can take that makes us more scientific and less like you're guessing. A lot of times these groups feel very like by chance, like, oh, I'm going to just try it and maybe I'll go viral and maybe this will happen. I want to give you a formula of a way that you can kind of, have a very predictable outcome instead. And of course, this is not just for Gen Z or millennials. Most of our group are in 40, 50, 60 plus. And we found that like people with decades of experience actually have the most to say. They have the most to offer because they have the most breakthrough. So some of you on the call, we want just be thinking about that. Like you guys have decades, some of you experience in a particular area of breakthrough. This is what we need. Like my generation, millennials, Gen Z, like we need like kind of people who have experience. We call them, fathers and mothers that now can like speak to the next generation. So hopefully that inspires you to kind of think about this is a lot more than just, oh, I'm going to launch this online community and maybe get some money to cover my bills, right? At the end of the day, like you're going to be sharing and bringing transformation to the next generation and helping people get a shortcut that maybe you didn't have when you were going through your breakthrough. And of course, I'm going to try to keep this not geeky tech at all. And I'm going to try to keep it simple, practical. This is our family here. We live in Nashville. My wife and I have been serving founders and creators for about 14 years. And we've launched multiple 6-figure tribes over the last couple of years. And we've been able to serve some 7- and 8-figure tribes for Pedro Adao, Graham Cook, organization called God Behind Bars, Rainmakers Academy. And we've been able to build software that helps those communities thrive and scale to the next level. And so I'm really excited to be coming and helping people who are at the very beginning. Like you guys, maybe you just have an idea. You don't have a community. You don't even have a following. Maybe you don't even have a name for your community yet, but that really inspires me. I love this portion of it. It's the beginning part. It's where most people get stuck. Like most people are going to get stuck in this moment where you've been thinking about it for a while, something's stirring in your heart and you're like, I think I should do this, but you haven't actually taken that next step. And so I love talking to those people the most because there's so much potential of what could happen just by taking a couple action steps forward. So that's us. I'm going to talk through some help crush some limiting beliefs to get started. I'm also going to help you guys leave here with a 4-week plan so that when you leave this call, you can go for the next 30 days and implement a simple 4-week plan to go and scale this and to launch your first community. Just taking that first initial step out the door is going to be what helps propel you to the next thing and the next thing. So some of the times this can feel totally overwhelming. So what we've done is we've broken it down into 4 weeks. And so you have like a nice action plan where you can easily accomplish this with a couple hours a week. This is not a full-time gig. You don't need to now like go and do this, for 40 hours a week. We want this to be sustainable and doable for everybody here. And then we're going to share some tools and resources at the end. Okay, cool. So one thing I want to ask you guys, if you can take a second, I'm gonna pull up the chat here as well, and ask if you can kind of think through like where are you in the process and where are you currently feeling the most friction. So think about it for a second, take a minute, put it into the chat. I want to kind of see where everybody's at. Is it you don't know what your group is about? Maybe you don't have a name for the group. Maybe you're stuck with the technologies, the friction. Maybe you're still in process, like you're still writing a book and you haven't got it finished yet. So you're kind of waiting for the book to be finished. just put that in the chat. I'd love to kind of see where everybody's at and get a good idea of how it can help you guys. Awesome. Very good. Janet says we've started a few before, but never quite comes together. Overthinking, 100%. We're all guilty of that. Overthinking, analysis paralysis, right? Where we've thought through every possible way this could work or not work. Fear, distilling down concepts. Yeah. Sometimes it's just fear, right? Like we have to step out. We have to do something a little bit scary. And you don't really know like where to even start. Saying starting a small one, building towards a bigger one. Hey, every single one of the groups that we started small. Sometimes we've had as few as 10, 15 people on a call like this, and it still has turned into a very successful event. You don't need hundreds or thousands of people for this concept to work. You just need to help a few. And if you can help a few people reach breakthrough, you can easily scale that and keep doing that over and over again. Sweet. Okay. So I want to tackle 3 lies of launching an online community. These are things that no matter how many times you do this, you're probably going to continue to believe some of these lies. And so I just want to attack this head on and set some of you guys free, okay? So the first thing is that I don't have anything to say, okay? This is something that we all feel. Maybe you feel that you're not the expert, that maybe people are already teaching what I know. And that can be a place where you're like, hey, I don't actually want to, put that video out or put that post on social media. I don't want to reach out because everybody thinks it's just like a worse version of this other person that I'm following, right? Maybe you're following a bunch of people who are doing the thing that you want to do. And the shocking thing is that most of your audience probably doesn't even know that that person that you're looking at even exists. That's the crazy thing about how big the world actually is that you have a very unique voice. You have something that where your breakthrough matters, and people want to hear your unique story. Like you're going to have a way of telling your story that no one else on earth is going to have. We're all made very uniquely, distinctly, and you have something very specific to share with the world that's going to just be super helpful to people. I'm going to put this slide up here. You don't have to do this right now, but afterwards you could pause this video if you're watching the replay and do this. But take 5 areas and kind of just think about 5 areas of personal breakthrough that you've experienced in your life. It could be just overcoming an obstacle, a career change, learning a new skill or hobby. And I put 5 down there because it gets you thinking about lots of ideas. And once you can look at all those ideas, you may look and see like, oh, this one is the one. Like that's the one I actually feel the most passionate about. So just put down 5 ideas, and that's a great way to get started. My friend, Bo Garrett was a pilot and wanted to create a watch. So he was talking to me one night and just said, hey, one day I'm going to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars and go and launch this watch for pilots. And of course I said, why don't you just start now? Like, why don't we just do it without the money? That's a more fun place to start. And so he did. He took that step. He put out a little video, which he shot on his iPhone. And he just said, hey, if you can help a fellow pilot out, I am thinking about launching this thing. He didn't say, here's the watch, go buy it on this website. He just said like, hey guys, like I'm a fellow pilot. I'm thinking about building this. Would be so helpful if you could just like fill out a quick survey and tell me as a pilot, what are you looking for in a watch? And so you're asking people to take 5-10 minutes out of their day to now help you with your thing. And we had over 1,800 people fill out his response. Some of these people wrote page-long ideas of like, hey, here's like just multiple paragraphs of like, here's really like, they're so opinionated, and they just gave so much valuable insight. So we had 1,800 people respond. He just looked at all that and distilled down the common themes. They wanted it simple. They wanted it this way. And then he went from there, handed that to a designer, and they started to build a watch. And super exciting because I have the watch here. I'm actually get to wear it. I'll see if I can show it to you guys. Turn this off here. But this is the final watch that he made. And super excited. It's Bravo Golf. It's super well made in the US. And he did this. He went from like, hey, I have this idea for a conversation. that we were just having over a conversation into like, here's a product, and he's turning it into a business a few years later. So I just encourage you guys, start that thing. But he could have easily said, well, there's other brands, there's other things out there. I don't have anything unique with mine. I don't even have a product yet. And so, but by just starting to talk to people, he was able to launch that. So hopefully that's inspiring to you guys. Okay, number 2, no one is going to show up to my live event. I'm going to put in hundreds of hours of work, and then I'm going to go ta-da, and there's just going to be crickets, and like my mom is going to show up, and maybe someone I follows me on Facebook, and it's not going to work, and I'm going to feel really bad. Okay, so the truth of this, and I say live event, I mean it could be a workshop, online event, maybe you're doing a live training. The lie is that you think you're going to put this all in, and you think you need some sort of big audience or email list. A lot of times, like, you already have people following you, friends, family, friends of friends that are following you on social platforms. And if you kind of put up your hand and share some sort of, unique breakthrough that's extremely specific, people will show up for that. The truth is that when like you niche down to the right people, they're going to find it incredibly valuable. I think that's what worked for Bo as well. Like, this is for pilots who really are passionate about watches. Like, it was a very niche audience, so it became valuable to them because it was so specific. And so one of the exercises for this is just take a second, like write down the names of 10 people that you would love to serve. These could be past clients, it could be a friend, it could be someone at church, it could be someone that you just know in your community, a neighbor, that you're like, man, if I could have a bunch of people being able to serve, a community of just, Bo's or just, Kevin's, or pick like that name, and that way you're creating it very specifically for that audience. Awesome. My wife and I did this in 2021. We launched a very specific group. It was for people who wanted to launch a podcast using video that was faith-based, but it was a very, it was for spiritual fathers and mothers, and they wanted to help the next generation. It was very, very specific. And we were able to launch, our very first one, we had 250 people paid to show up. And then we had 19 people buy like a boot camp that was $2,500. So we did about $70,000 in the span of 3 weeks. We had no name. We didn't even have a domain. We didn't have an offer when we started. We actually did the 5-day event. We just went live for an hour every day. And we started that event, and we had no offer. We had no pricing. We had no intention, honestly, of selling anything at the event. So this can just be kind of done on the fly. Like, the best thing is, like, we never would have figured that stuff out if we hadn't just taken the first step out the door and kind of risked it a little bit. Okay, on to number 3. I don't have the time or the tech to manage a group. Maybe some of you are tuning in on your lunch break. Maybe you are taking a minute, while you're watching kids, grandkids, whatever, and you're like, man, one more thing, I can't do that. And you're thinking like, hey, I'm not tech savvy. This sounds like a constant maintenance. Like, I'm gonna have a bunch of people sign up, and then they're gonna expect all this stuff from me. And I'm already overwhelmed, and I can't add one more thing. And the truth for this is that this doesn't require you to be a tech expert. You just need to be an expert in your area of breakthrough. You don't have to be an expert in technology and video and all this stuff. You just have to show up and be authentic, be yourself, and that's what's really going to drive success. There's so many tools out there. We'll talk about some of them later, where you can automate all of the tech stuff, where it just happens kind of on autopilot. And also, there's not this huge pressure for you to just figure everything out. Your community will gain momentum as you add more people, because now different people are on different steps of that journey. You're all going to like a certain, top of a mountain. Like, here's my big goal, but there's people all the way kind of up the mountain at various stages, and they will all start to help each other. Like, once there's a question, it's not all going to be on you. You just have to be the one to initiate it, set up the room, create the community, and then kind of start to make that community valuable. Cool. Super quick case study we did back last summer. Again, a new brand, no followers. We got about 800 signups for an event using some Facebook ads. About 250 people show up to watch live. And then all we sold was 6 purchases for 3K. Okay. And I saw one of our people who jumped on, actually, John, just jumped in here. Maybe he left already. Sorry, I missed it. But he jumped on for just a second, and that was just cool to see. I was going to give him a shout out. But this was for developers who own their own agency, who are wanting to build mobile apps for Flutterflow. It was just super, super specific niche. And it didn't take a lot of people. Like, I think on this live Zoom, we maybe had 20 people, 25 people, and then a bunch of people watched the live stream. And then we just had 6 people jump in and say, yeah, this is me. I want to do this. So just wanted to show you that, like, it was very simple. It was just 6 people. We delivered it all in 4 weeks. So we did a 4-week boot camp. And after 4 weeks, it was over. And it wasn't like my whole life is now changed. And like, I have this new commitment where I'm going to be like pouring all I have every single week into this group. You can do it in kind of bite-sized pieces and then just be really good about delivering, of course, what you say to your group. So hopefully that's helpful. Gives you those 3 lies. So yes, you have something to say. Absolutely. 2, you 100% are going to have people show up, because if you had some area of breakthrough, it is guaranteed that there are going to be other people in the world who had that specific, that are looking for that breakthrough. They may be where you were 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It could be about marriage. It could be about education. It could be about business. There's breakthrough that you have, that you've overcome, you've learned skills, that people are just kind of starting that journey, and they just need guidance. They just need someone to show them the way. So there's going to be people who have that need. And the last thing is, of course, don't worry about the time or the tech. It's going to be easy. People use that as a reason not to get into it, but you can actually be very strategic with how you create your offer, how you set up your group, and how you automate things to where you can leverage a lot of your time for the best pieces possible. Cool. Are we doing okay? I'm going to just check the chat. Hey, Stacy, I see you just jumped in. That's awesome. If you guys, we're going to jump in and see, we're going to do another one. We're going to walk through the 4-week plan. So I'm going to jump into that next, but hopefully this is helpful. Drop a little emoji or something. Give me a high, like fire emoji, happy, sad face if you're mad. Hey, Joe, good to see you. Stacy, Jennifer, Dr. Ernest, we've got Janine. Good to see all of you guys today. So, okay, in this step, we're going to jump into the 4-week action plan. And this is actually a training we do in our Pioneer program, which is a paid program. So I thought what would be great, I'm just going to pull a bunch of slides out of that. I'm going to give it to you for free, and you guys will have all that today, so you can have the exact steps. So this is straight out of our slide deck from our training for our paid program. Just going to give that away today for free. And the reason we put it into 4 weeks, this is not a 2025 goal, right? Sometimes you need like an annual goal. But what we found works the best is like a 90-day goal for us, for Lindsay and I. We say like for this quarter, from January to March, these are the couple things we want to have for finances, for family, for our business. And then really for something that like this, 4 weeks is plenty. Every single one of those groups, the No Code UI, Bo, the Bravo Golf, Kingdom Messengers, all started in about 2 to 4 weeks, okay? From brand new to profitable, from going from idea to essentially making over 10K in a few weeks. So give yourself 4 weeks, and it's 100% doable. So this is everything that we've kind of learned that works well. So I'm gonna give you guys all the secrets. So this is the magic slide, kind of tells you everything. You're gonna essentially start by doing some discovery and discover kind of what you wanna talk about, what it's gonna be, who's it gonna be for. You're going to get into the build phase where you're going to build and assemble all of this. There's some things to set up very, very simply. Again, not techie. And then you're just going to promote it for a week and then launch. It's just that easy. You're just going to promote for 2 weeks. And the goal is at the end of those 4 weeks to know if you did the right thing is to make a sale, like have people sign up for an offer and pay some money for it. It's one thing to have a bunch of people just give you a high five and be like, that's awesome. Thank you so much. It's another thing when they say, hey, yes, this is worth like hundreds of dollars to like work with you and to like, I need help and I need something more than just like a free training. So that's that. So let's just go through it. So week one, you're just laying the groundwork for your community, trying to figure out like who you want to serve and why. So again, figuring out what your unique breakthrough is, and then who's your target audience. In this step as well, you can kind of take an audit of everything that you have. Maybe you have social media, maybe you wrote a book, maybe you have a course that you've created in the past. And if you have none of those things, that's okay. Then you're actually free to kind of do whatever you want in this step. It's actually a very freeing place to be. So in this first week, you're just kind of planning out, deciding, but by the end of this week, the goal is to write it down and say, hey, this is for this specific person. I'm going to help them with this breakthrough. And I'm going to use these tools and resources that I have at my disposal to do that. So some of you, if you have a following, great, use that. If you don't, well, you may end up just texting a few friends or people that are in your community and just say, hey, I'm doing this thing. Here's the Zoom link. I'd love for you to join at this time. That is all the tech that you need. You don't need a landing page. You don't need a Facebook ads. You don't need all of that stuff for this first thing. It may just be you just pulling in a few people from your local community that already know and trust you and just launching with that. And I guarantee by just doing this, by just going through this 4-week process, you're going to build up all those creative muscles and the different skills and things that you need to be successful. So by the end of it, you will actually be able to just do that whole thing again, and it'll get easier the second time and the third time and fourth time. And guess what? If you do this in 4 weeks, you have 12 chances of making this successful. We'll call it 11 if you start in February, but in the span of a year, you could do this 12 times. If you did this 12 times, you're going to be pretty good at it. Like by the third or fourth, like you're going to have it figured out. So just be encouraged, like getting these creative reps in. People want to like, what's the shortcut? Just give me the shortcut. There's not really a shortcut, but if you do the steps, you put in the work, kind of follow this process, it's going to work. Okay. So that's the first week. Second week, you're building, just setting up space. You can set up where you want to have your community. The big thing here is just to schedule your event. Like pull up a real calendar in your planner, pull up a real calendar on your computer, like put the date. Hey, on the 28th of this month, I'm doing this thing at 2 p.m. I'm going to create a Zoom link for it, or I'm going to create a Google Meet link, whatever it is. We had some people also say, hey, on this date, I'm having a bunch of my neighbors over to my house to hear me tell my story. So that's no technology, just here's my address. People I know, I'm going to invite them over basically for coffee, and that's it. They're going to launch their community just like that. So you're just scheduling it. That's the first thing. Kind of put that target when it's going to happen. And I would encourage you to kind of start to tell people or write it down or make it official so it feels like you can't move it. The next thing we do, we could set up a free group. There's some tech on how we could do that if you want to have like an online Facebook group or use a free tool to host people. You can start to post like a welcome message and just start to create buzz kind of for the group. Just create some excitement, anticipation. In week 3, you're actually going to start promoting. So you don't have to do any promotion until week 3. But at this point, you want to be like sharing on social media, texting people, emailing people every single day. And you don't need an email list. You can literally just write, group emails to friends or personal emails to friends or text to friends or DM people on Facebook. It could be as simple as that, just inviting people to join. And but what I would do is every single day, keep inviting, like promote. And this will just help kind of generate. If you do that for 2 weeks straight, from all of week 3 and all of week 4, you're going to have people show up to your event. At least they're going to know that it happened and that you're doing it. So that's an easy way to kind of fill this up. You're going to start to build like a presentation of like, hey, after this training, I'm going to do a free training. I'm going to do a free challenge. After this, I want to invite people to work with me. Maybe you're like a personal coach or your fitness instructor or you're a photographer. What's that thing they're going to do? Maybe they're just going to work one-on-one with you. And you have a one-on-one coaching package that includes 4 sessions or a month worth of working with you, or you've got a course you want to sell. Kind of just looking at that thing, putting that offer together. This is not a time to go make a course, right? This is not a time to go, oh, okay, I'm going to sell a course. Oh, wait, I don't have a course. You don't need that to go ahead and launch. So you're going to put that offer together, share updates every day to keep momentum. And then, of course, the fourth week, we are going to launch. And this means that you're going to continue to promote it. You're going to host your event somewhere like we're doing today. It could be as simple as Zoom or Google Meet. Uh, you know, give tons of value, like give away the secrets, give away the information that you have. What people really need is the implementation. So you're going to be able to walk with them through how to implement the things you're talking about. That's going to happen after. So you can share some tactics, some things, but really what is going to be helpful is kind of just really going after the why. Like, hey, if you're wanting to get debt free, I've done this. Let me tell you my story of how I got debt free. Then just kind of work backwards and say like, these are the mindset things I have to shift, right, to become debt free. And this is kind of why it was amazing. Like, hey, now we're starting to plan our financial future. Like we're not having fights with my spouse about finances. Like you kind of giving them the reason of like why I should take on this thing. You're not going to be able to fix their finances in an hour and a half, but you can at least get them like dreaming and thinking like, okay, this is what it could be if this worked out. Here's the why. Like, what just really sell why this, like some people call it the big domino. Like if I just get this one thing, people are like, oh my gosh, I need to get debt free so I can do this other thing, in my life. That's all you're trying to do in that call. And then your program or your offer is going to help people actually walk through the steps, change their habits, stop the bad habits, build the good habits. And that's what's going to create that transformation. So that's the 4-week plan. I'll pull this slide up again. You can see discover, build, do promotion, and then actually go and launch. You could do this in 2 weeks if you wanted to, but this is very comfortable to do it in 4. And that's kind of our process that we've been creating. This is what we train on in our Pioneer program. And this is what we want to help people launch, to go from this idea to actually generating a sale. And the reason we want to do it this way is because, yes, it's repeatable. So the first time you're going to pick, like, I want to do it for this person with this breakthrough to this audience, and I'm going to try to sell this, and you try it. And if no one shows up or just a few people show up and no one buys, and you're like, okay, maybe that didn't work. Like, let me tweak something for round 2 and try it again. But if you do that a couple times, you're going to figure it out, because you're going to post something on social media and you may have 50 people comment and be like, this is amazing. Like, I need this. Like, where's the link? So just keep trying these different things and you're going to find something that actually takes. But you got to kind of start somewhere. So don't think that maybe I'm going to do it flawlessly the first time and make $100,000 in 4 weeks. I guarantee if you follow the steps and implement all the steps, like, you will make something, like you will sell something if you do it right. But your idea here is to iterate. Like, don't go build it for 6 months and then just go ta-da. Rather take like 6 4-week tries at this and give yourself a lot of options for success. So if you guys are good with it, I'd love to take just a second before we do the hot seats and just share what we've been building on as a team. This is our team here. We're spread out all over from Canada to the US to Brazil to Europe. So we've been building Tribe Social for the last since 2020. And I just want to give you guys a quick live demo of what this looks like. You guys saw it over here for the creators group. This is a platform. We basically created a version of Tribe of a Facebook. And if you've seen tools like School or Mighty Networks or Circle, they all kind of do the same things. Ours has a ton of extra features that make it super easy to launch. One of the big things is you don't need Zoom, so you can actually just click here. You can just start my live call, and you can just go live. And it's going to create basically a Zoom call type experience for you. And you can just put your camera on, and you can just start presenting, and people can jump on. They can join you, like you guys are joining me. You can see me there, and that's how you can host this training. And then when it's done, there's a recording in there. It's all done for you. It's going to be the replay will be already in the feed. I believe we're the only ones that can do that. of all the other tools that are out there if you're researching it. That's one of our favorite little features, because let me tell you, if you start doing weekly calls, like creating the Zoom link, sending the email out, sending texts out, like all that stuff takes a lot of time, and you end up having, that's where you kind of suck a lot of your energy into that. This makes it super easy to just automate it, hit a button, you start teaching. It kind of gets all the technology out of the way. We have an option here to make courses. And so like this is our Pioneer program where we are actually coaching every week on how to do this. And there's the 4-week launch. Now, what's different about this is I skimmed over a bunch of things. Each one of these has videos from me and from some of my mentors like Pedro Adeo and a few others that we've been adding in here on how to do this and do it really well. And so there's step-by-step videos to kind of know exactly what to do and how to do it. So that's what we have here in the Pioneer program. We also included some other Challenge Secrets courses that using online events from Pedro and Russell Brunson, who are known worldwide for this and have insane success doing online events. It's how we learned it. So we just put those tools and resources there. Of course, we have replays. People want to watch replays. Event calendar, if people want to see what's coming up. People can subscribe to that, and you of course can see like members of who's jumped in. So these are all the settings, things. We even have like a really cool AI tool. We just added this last week where you can actually have this AI tool help you figure out who your audience is. And in this demo I was showing here, I had it write an email to invite people to a workshop. And this email got written in about 7 seconds by the AI bot. And then we're just showing people like how it can be your creative partner. So this is one of the tools that's just in there and available to you. So what we've done is we have created this program called Tribe Social Pioneers for people who want to launch. And you can go to Tribe Social, it's Tribes Pioneers, tribepioneer.com, and check it out. There's a few details on here, what all is included. And there's a few things. You're getting the courses, you're getting the training, everything you're going to need for 12 months to figure this out. And we're going to work with you every single week to do that. And then we've got bonuses like the Challenge Secrets course. Pedro's coming in to do some hot seats. And then the best part of all is that we actually host your own group. So the same way that I have my group here called Pioneers, you guys will have your own group as well in here that's just yours, that you put your members in, and you can have multiple. You can have a free community, you can have a paid community, and you can set up as many of these groups as you want. And all those same features that I kind of demoed over here, you can have in your group. So this is Marcella. She just launched last week. She made her first $100 last Friday. Super cool. She's selling a $20 offer. And I just want to highlight her and brag on her for a second because she took action. She has been working on a book for about a year or two, and she's still working on it. She's still editing it. And she said, oh, when I get my book launched, this is going to be great, because when I launch my book, it's going to be great. We said, well, why don't you launch the community first and bring people along in the journey? And so she's actually had people pay her $20 to kind of pre-purchase the book, and then they get access to this community while she works on it. And she said, hey, I'm going to launch it maybe in the fall. So she set very realistic expectations, but she's going to release like a few chapters at a time to this community, and they're going to get kind of early access, get to be on live calls with her, get to, learn to build some trust with her. So to her credit, she set up a super simple landing page in about 10-15 minutes, started taking payments, and she just started sharing the link. And she was able to start adding people to that group. So she just started last Friday. I think she's got 5 or 6 people jumped in. But now she's like made her first money online. And I guarantee you, the first time you make $1 from a stranger online, it's going to change your life. Okay. Because you suddenly realize that the thing that you've had in your heart, in your mind for so long, wow, that's like valuable to someone, that they're willing to like take out their credit card and like buy my thing and hear about my story, hear about my breakthrough and get help. So that's everything in Tribe Pioneers. If you guys are interested, if you're just thinking about it, highly recommend just going here. You can book a call. If you click here, you're going to jump on and you can talk to Joe, who's on our team. He's got a bunch of openings next couple days, just for 15 minutes. Ask questions, see if it's a good fit. But this is going to be something that if you literally don't have anything, you don't have a social following, you don't have a name for your group, you don't have a logo, you're literally starting at the very beginning. That's who this is for. This is not for people who already have it figured out. Or even if you started it and just not seen success, this could be a good fit for you as well. So we're very excited. Like I said, this is the Tribe Pioneer group that we are helping. Our goal is we're tracking how much money people are making so we can kind of gamify it a little bit. But we're set 2025 goal. Our only business goal for this year is to help pioneers generate $1 million together. And we're tracking that week over week to see success in that. So we have no other business revenue goals, other than let's try to make those people as successful as possible. All right, sound good? So there's the link. You can jump into it. And now, if you're up for it, I'd be happy to take any questions. Questions about pioneers or questions about Tribe Social. It could be a hot seat. If you want me to give you some feedback or maybe just do some coaching, I'm happy to hear your plan of like, hey, I'm wanting to do this group. I've got this thing. I will do my best to give you guys as much value as I possibly can in the next 20 to 30 minutes. So what you can do is just in Zoom, you can use the raise your hand option. So it'll look kind of like this. You'll see like a little hand go up, and that just puts it in the front of the queue, and I can kind of go in order there. So I know we did have some questions. I'm going to grab them really quick. Some people put some questions in on what we could ask for. Let me pull this up. And let's see here. So someone said, how do I translate an existing community into this? That was from Sheila Hitchcock. And yes, absolutely, you can move, from platform. I would do this at the beginning, like towards the beginning of this process, like bring all your free people into one platform, have them create an account, and then just add them to your paid platform. And then you don't have to move people after that. If you're using something like Facebook, where we used Facebook for years before we built Tribe. So it definitely works. It's free, but you kind of get what you pay for. So your posts aren't necessarily going to get seen. Everything's dictated by an algorithm. So like if you post something to your community, they may not even see that post in their feed or in when they go to the group. It's difficult to put courses in. People can track their progress. So there's some benefits. I mean, mainly that it's free, but at the end of the day, we have found that like the earlier you can, we have like a few, less than 100 people, less than 1,000 people, go ahead and just move this over into a platform that you own and you control. That's not going to change on you. So we have helped organizations that have thousands of people in a Facebook group move to their own apps and their own groups. It's definitely possible. And the thing that makes the biggest change is you. So if you're the coach and you show up in this new app, people will go literally wherever you are to get, to have access. So I would just have a clear date, stop, move over, go on. So Janet asked, like, how does this pricing compare to school? So it's actually the same. So school is $100 a month. We have all the features of school plus some extra things. We do sell the coaching here. I don't think I actually said the price after all of that. Let me jump back real quick. If you go to this page, you can see the pricing here. You can start it for single payment of $495 and just pay month to month if you want, or you can save $2,000 and buy the whole year. You can also buy a month and see if you like it, and then at the end of the month, you can just pay the balance and jump into the 12 months. We'll work with you. So again, on that call with Joe, we can talk through options and how we can start. Of course, we know this is a crazy good offer, but you guys maybe have just seen me for the first time. So if you get excited and you jump into it and it's not what you think, you just shoot us an email. We give you a full refund, no questions asked. We just want you to be able to take that next step and start to invest in your community. So check out the page. You can see some of the stories of people that are using it there. So after that, it does jump down to just $100 a month for your group. So it's the same price as school. School is $100 per group, and we're actually giving you unlimited groups. So you could have 10 different groups in there with as many users as you want. Uh, Whereas in school, you're actually paying like $100 per group. And the way that everybody's doing is they typically have at least 2 or 3 groups, because you're going to have something where you create like your free group, maybe where you're hosting your free events, and then you're going to want to have something where it's paid as well. Um, so yeah, so another question, like taking training before hosting a group. Yeah, so you don't have to take the training, but the training is there every week to help you guys get unstuck. We just bundled everything together to make it as successful as possible. Because you can, with school or other platforms, you can go get the software. There's a bunch of options. What I think is really missing is people who can walk you like step by step on where you're going to get stuck. Um, Whether it's, maybe you do try to do some Facebook ads, which we have training on Facebook ads, and you try that and it's not working. You're not getting any signups. Great. Like every Tuesday at 2 p.m., we jump on and you share your screen, show me your ad account. I will give you feedback on some ideas of what to improve. And so you get to kind of do it with someone who's done it before. And so we're not right now just selling the software only, because I don't think that's really setting people, it's not really fair, and it's not really setting people up for success. Whereas I think if we step you through it, you guys are going to see way more success there. So let me grab one of these other questions. Um, let's see. How to work out what I am selling and find the people who are willing to pay. This was from Janine. Actually, you're here, so do you mind unmuting and sharing?
Yeah, yeah. I was actually wondering if I could run my scenario by you
Sure.
and
Yeah, let's do it.
yeah, if there's time, yeah. Um, so I've kind of just set up I've just had an idea of a I've been doing some inner healing ministry just through word of mouth, and I had an idea to pull those people together and just do it and commit to a live feed every day on my behalf and invite them to do whatever, just to help us walk out that freedom. Um, but yeah, so and then I saw your ad, so it's like perfect timing. But I've also got a book that's kind of in draft, it's almost ready to publish. And so I was thinking down the track of people, teenagers, teenage teenagers that's going to pull in, hopefully. So I'm kind of thinking down the track of how to navigate that. Um,
Okay. And
yeah.
is what you're
So,
helping people for, is it for teenagers or is it for the parents of teenagers?
well, I'm not sure how it's going to land. I mean, I'm writing it for teenagers, but it may be that it's the parents that pick it up. Yeah, I don't know how many teenage boys read books, so yeah, I don't know quite. That's who I'm writing for, though. But I'm hoping to be able to minister to those boys somehow. And so I'm looking for a kind of way to do that. Um, it seems a bit tricky, but a way to do that in a wholly, healthy,
Yeah.
productive way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so again, just starting is good. So even if you have an idea for something, like let me just pull a group, like you said, you got some people you're already helping, just put a little bit of, you know, hey, we're actually going to do this every Tuesday and share this, this, and this. I think doing it in such a way where you do create a community versus just, sharing on social media. It's a little bit public, depending on your topic. Some of you maybe are working with more like personal um, things where people maybe aren't going to comment and just start opening up in a live stream, right? Um,
Yeah.
just like you're doing now, like you're sharing, it takes a lot of courage to just start to share um, publicly. But I think in a private community, you may be able to find, so that could be just creating that initial group and just say, hey, I'm going to put some resources here. here's some things that your resources could be other resources of other books that other people have written that you can just put, kind of make it easy for them, give them a lot of value. And I would just start that, like just every week, once a week's great, sharing
Mm.
what you think is helpful and just see where it goes from there. Because I think part of this is just talking to people and hearing the feedback. Uh, it's probably easier going to
Mm.
be easier to find those people, those parents of teenagers, and maybe start from that angle because they're going to be easier to, they've got more wisdom, like to kind of know like, oh, I actually, yeah, this, my kid does have this particular issue and needs, needs
Yeah,
help with this. Whereas
yeah.
especially teenage boys have no wisdom on that,
No.
and they already know everything, so it's not going to be helpful for you to tell everything that they already know. So kind of just pick your audience there, and then
Yeah,
you can always like create other groups and things as you experiment, but
yeah,
really just starting and gathering people is where I would go, in the next week or two. So
yeah. Okay, thank
yeah,
you.
no problem. Um, Cool. Anybody else? I'll see if anyone wants to raise their hand. Let me look at one other question here. Um, so someone asked here, Erin, I think, could you provide a strategy that can help create interest about the community you're building and maintain that connection? So this could be as simple as like a Facebook post that says, kind of just tell some of your story. Hey, 3 years ago, um, my wife and I were in debt. This is what happened. We were struggling here, and then we spent a few years, and we found a way to basically get debt free in a few years. It could be a fitness goal, like, hey, I used to be 30 pounds overweight. Then I lost. I was like, hey, I'm going to take my health seriously, and I was able to do X, Y, and Z. And in 90 days, I lost 25 pounds, and now I'm feeling great and working great. It's kind of just share the story. People love stories, especially your friends and family. They're gonna like it, comment on it, be like, "Yay, great job!" And be like at the very end, like, "Hey, if you're interested um, in learning, like if you want to do this, if you want to lose 20 pounds, if you want to get debt free, I'm gonna host something. Just DM me for the info. You don't even have to give the date and the time and all that stuff. Just like, hey, if you're interested in learning more, just direct message me, DM me on Facebook, and then you can just start conversations like, oh, here's a link, here's a thing in the DMs. It's much, it's an easy way to generate uh, interest and kind of do it one at a time because you'll end up talking. People are going to ask questions like, what time is it? What are you going to talk about? Like, whatever. You're going to have these one-on-one interactions in DM. So it's a great place to start because you get a lot of feedback um, as well. Um, cool. So there's another question from Jennifer. Is there a way that attendees can't see how many are participating? I'm feeling fear that a low attendance would bring shame or even laughs. Uh, so I would, the thinking on that is like, to kind of the root thinking there is that like low numbers are bad. Um, like we've just shared all this stuff. Like you guys can see there's 8 people and 2 of them are on my team. So there's like 5 or 6 people here um, that are on this call. And that doesn't bother me at all. And I don't think that like, maybe if there's 800 people, that'd be good. I kind of like that we have 10 pioneers right now in our group. It's great. Like it's just a right amount of people where we can give a ton of value to lots of different people. I've been in coaching programs where there's 100 people on the live Zoom call after you've paid thousands of dollars, and it's great, but it's not always like better. Like more numbers are not always better. Sometimes just getting a smaller group of people, it feels a little bit more safe, and people kind of open up and they get more breakthrough. So, and you don't need a lot of people. Like that one group we sold, the 6 people, we sold like a 3K offer, and that was great. Like it was totally worth all of our time to do it, to coach, to invest in them. Um, and we didn't get hung up on the numbers too much. So the numbers will come. So as you just do it more and more, that will totally scale and it'll increase. And it builds momentum because you'll you'll do an event, you'll share a lot of things, promoting it, and then people may only show up to your third or fourth event, after you've been talking about, they've been seeing your stuff for like months. So it does build momentum and it gets easier. But just starting is the biggest thing. Not being too afraid of that um, with the numbers. But cool. I think we got all the questions. We're kind of coming up on an hour. If there's anything else, you guys can drop it in the chat. Raise your hand. I think we got to everybody. I'm just checking my list of questions here. And someone else asked how to work out. Oh no, that was Janine. Oh, we did that one. Awesome. Yeah. And someone asked in the question, like, what do we mean by a profitable community? Um, you're selling information. Like, it's going to be, the margins are very high. We're selling information, but we're also selling software. So we have developer costs and servers and hosting and all kinds of stuff to like keep all that going. But if you're selling breakthrough, you're selling information, a strategy, there's really no cost. So the best type of business to launch if you're a brand new entrepreneur. Launching something like this is the easiest in the sense that the product is you, like you are the product, and your content and your breakthrough that you're sharing and your framework is the product. And so there's just not a lot of overhead and costs. So it's a great way to kind of launch. If I was to get rid of my business, shut everything down, and I was starting everything again from scratch, this is where I would spend all my time building a community like this for the first month, so I could pay bills and all that if I had to restart from scratch, because you can iterate it so fast, and for me it's like the perfect business that way. So hope this was helpful. If you guys want to watch replay, it's going to be on the creator community. It's great hanging out with you all. If you want to book that call, we'll chat with you and see if we can help you in your journey as launching as a creator in 2025. So we'll see you guys and have